Hi, I'm Beth and I keep my body feeling healthy and strong with just 15-minute workouts throughout the week. And I thought you might like to join in with me or just have a look at an example of what I would do for a 15-minute movement session through the week. So I always like to start warming up the back, and we'll start, if you're joining with me, hands and knees. And this is a nice way just to get the back moving. So your hands are under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and then we're just going to make a round shape with your back. Let your head drop down and your tailbone tuck under, and then eyes lift up, stick your tailbone out and go into like an arched shape, and then round again. So I'm just thinking of moving really smoothly through my back, not pushing it too hard, I'm just getting my back moving. And I also like to take some nice deep breaths just to really feel centered and notice what goes on in my body and how I'm feeling. So when I go into that arch shape, I like to breathe in, and then I breathe out when I go into a rounded shape. And breathing in here, reaching the chest forward and up, and then breathing out, feeling like the tummy's being pulled in and up. So I'm just making my tummy a little bit stronger, feeling that connection. And then I'm just going to come back to feeling even, and then from here I'm just going to shift my weight back and forward into my shoulders. So just shifting back and forward. So it gives my hips a nice little stretch as I tuck back, and then I feel the strength in my shoulders as I come forward. Some people I teach have sore wrists, so they often can do this in putting their hands on like a fist. That can help your wrist feel better. Come back to being even again, so your even weight between hands and knees. And then I'm just going to connect both sides of my body by going opposite arm and leg and just stretching out. Now, I'm not going to rush, I just feel like I'm nice and steady, find that steadiness. Squaring off the hips so my hip bones are looking down at the floor, and then I pop my arm and leg down and go with the other side. But I like to move slowly so that I can try and keep my body really stable. That's going to make sure I'm using my whole body to keep that long, strong feeling. And I'm not shifting my weight from side to side, it's making my shoulders keep steady and strong. And I'm stretching out through the fingers and toes. My eyes are a little bit in front of my hand on the floor, sorry. So you want to keep your neck nice and long. And then let's hold it there, and we'll just add to that by just tapping down and up. So you don't want to take your leg up too high, just level with your body. Feels like it doesn't go up very high, but I'm trying to keep my body from moving around. So my tummy's really pulling in to keep my pelvis steady. And then put that back and down. Then we just go out to the other side, lift up, okay, tummy in, square off the hips, and then just tap down and up. That's the way. I'm not very good at counting repetitions, but I usually just do it till it feels about even on each side. And then bring your arm and leg in. Okay, so then I'm just going to sit on my knees like this. And I'm just going to take one arm up and back up and over, like a bit like a backstroke arm to warm up my shoulders. Go up with the arm and around. So I'm going to keep my eyes on my hand so I can let my body twist with that movement. And I'm not pushing into any pain, I'm just going where it feels comfortable. And then I'm going to take both arms up and just over my head. Now let your shoulders drop down and then just bring them around. So we're going to do a few big arm circles like this, up and big circle around. If it doesn't feel very good for you to be on your knees like this, you can always be up higher and do it from here. And now it's time for a lie down. So I'm just wriggling around so that I can feel that I'm nice and even. So I've got a straight line from hip bone to hip bone, and I'm going to keep that nice and steady without letting my back rock around at all as I move my legs and my arms. So I want to keep this nice and steady and just lift one knee up over the hip into what we call tabletop, and then just pop the leg down. So I've got my hands here because it always gives me really good feedback, so I can feel if I drop into one side. And if we want to maintain like a really strong core, which is going to support our back, you want to keep it steady. So that's why I always just pop my hands here as I'm finding that connection, finding that, steadiness in my body. And then we'll add an opposite arm, so really good to connect both sides of the body and good for your brain, arm and leg back and down. So we're just going up and down. Sometimes I add weights and I do this, have a weight in my hand. Depends how I feel on the day. And then you can make it harder. Sometimes I stay there and sometimes I feel like taking it harder. So both arms, both legs up. And then what you can do is to still take opposite arm and leg and just reach it away from your midline and then bring it back. I'm going to stay on the same side. And I'm thinking of keeping the still arm and leg nice and still, really stretching out the leg that's going away and then bring it back. You can always put your feet down on the ground and do it from that easier position if that feels better for you, if you're joining me. That should be enough on that side, and now we'll go on to the other side. So just stretching away and back. I feel like I need to remember to keep my arms straight because I'm concentrating on stretching out through the leg. Let's do two more. 1 and 2. Good, and then legs go together and hands go down. Hands go out to the side, and then I'm just going to take my knees over here to one side and then bring them back and then go over the other way. So I'm trying to keep my knees together and my shoulders down on the floor. If you are finding that too much, you can always just have your feet on the floor and do the move from here. That's the good thing about Pilates. You can always make it easier or harder depending on how you're feeling and what level you're at. And it really is amazing how quickly you can progress as well. So this is really good on your side waist because it feels like you're kind of wringing out the body, and then the side waist draws the legs back, the hips and the legs back. Sometimes I like to just do a gentle neck movement as well. So as the knees go one way, I let my head just drop over and then come back and then the other way. And then we just pop your feet down, go one down and then the other, and then bring your arms in beside you. So I'm just going to scoot my feet a little bit closer to my body so I can do what we call a bridge. And all we do here is you're just going to press your lower back into the ground so it's really imprinted. And then I'm going to lift up the hips and stand up on strong legs. Okay, so I've got this nice open feeling in the front of the chest and the hips. I'm squeezing all the muscles behind, and then you roll your body down. So you just think of laying your backbone down one piece at a time. Feel the lower back touch the mat, and then everything comes back to that neutral shape, and you take a breath in. And then you press your lower back down, roll up through your spine. That's it. Lifting up, nice open chest, squeeze your glutes, hamstrings, and rolling down. This has got to be one of my favourite moves because you feel that activation and that strength, but it's also a really nice way to articulate your spine and get that movement through your body. And there's so many different variations we can do here. Let's do a nice one where we can stretch through the arms as well. So hands go up to the ceiling, lift up into a bridge, and once you're here, You're going to take your arms over your head, leave them on the floor, and then roll down. So you get that lovely big lengthening feeling. And then when everything's down, you can just circle your arms around and bring them down beside you. So rolling up again, float the arms up to the ceiling. They go over your head, and then you soften your chest down away from your fingertips and feel like you're laying your back down with more length this time. Find the middle of your back, and then a big circle around with the arms. I'm going to do one more like that, it feels so good. Come up and over. Nice big lengthening feeling, rolling down, and then a big circle around. Okay, then I'm going to interlace my hands and just pop them behind the back of my head with my elbows up off the floor a tiny bit. And I'm just going to lift up my head, lift up my chest, and then lay back down. The thing with this is you can really make these chest lifts so effective if you think of keeping your waist long and keeping your pelvis in neutral and your back in neutral. So that means when I lift up, I don't tuck the pelvis towards me to help. I'm going to keep that length in my body and then back down. And breath really helps here too. So breathe in to get ready, and then you breathe out when you take a little chest lift up and back down. So really support your head in your hands. Your eyes are just in front of your knees there. And then lift up, we'll just hold it there. And we're just going to reach the arms forward. See how that helps you lift up a bit more? See if you can hold that up shape as you put your hands back behind your head and then you have a lie down. And we'll do that again. So just take a little lift up, arc the arms forward, let it lift you up, hold it there. Hands go back behind the head, that's challenging, and then you lay back and down. Did I say one more? Let's do, I meant one more now. Okay, up, a big stretch over, hold it there, hands go back behind the head, and then you come on down. Whew, good job. And then we're just going to lift up one leg into tabletop, and then the other, and then lift up your head and chest. Now reach forward and hold on to one knee and stretch the other one out with your elbows out to the side of you. And from here we're just going to switch the legs. So if this is too much on your neck, you can always do this one with your head down and still feel your tummy working, or you can be up. Okay, and then hug the knees and take a little rest. And then from here you're going to take a nice deep breath in, and when you breathe out, tuck the chin, lift up into a little chest lift. Then the arms and the legs, they shoot out together so they're parallel. Do a little circle around with the arms and hug the knees back in. Arms and legs go out, do a little circle of the arms and hug back in. One more, out like this. Remember, you can always put your head down if you're finding that too much on your neck, and back down. Good, and then hold on behind the back of the legs, and you're going to give yourself a little rock to sit all the way up. So sitting up like this, you can bend your knees if that helps you keep your back straight, because sometimes we can get tight through the hamstrings and it can cause us to sit more like this. So if you need to have your knees bent, I often do, that's fine. So hands go here, and then you're just going to nod your head, dive forward over your legs, keeping your arms and legs parallel, and then roll your body back and up. Okay, take a deep breath. And then when you breathe out, head goes forward, neck, shoulders, reaching up and over, keeping your arms in line with your ears, and then roll your body back. And we'll just do one more there. So tuck the chin, diving forward, nice big stretch for your back, and then rolling back and up. Good, hands down. Then we're just going to sit like this with one foot in front, one foot behind. And we're going to just take a nice little side movement for your back. So what you're going to do is just go over to the side like this, and then come back and up. Go the other way, So I'm trying to keep sitting down nice and evenly so that I feel a really good stretch through that underarm and through those ribs there, and then back. So breathe in when you go over, and then breathe out as you come back. Let's just swap around to the other side. Now, try and sit down evenly. If one hip's sort of up a bit, that's okay. Just be as square as you can. And then arms out to the side, over, and then back, over to the side. So use your breath. It's so nice to take those deep breaths, opening up the ribs, breathing into that lung on the side there. And then hands come down. Alright, so we'll leave it there. So that's just an example of the kind of things that I do every day. So I just take 15 minutes. I do exercises similar to this where I get my back moving and I work on maintaining my muscle strength through my core so my back feels strong and supported. I work on my upper body strength. Sometimes I do the exercises standing, sometimes I'll grab some weights, but it's not complicated and it's achievable and it's perfect for maintaining that muscle strength and helping you feel really good in your body. So if you'd like to do some more exercises like this with me, then let me know and we can work together.